I think we're ready.
All right. So yeah, we'll let folks trickle in from their fabulous Anaheim Convention Center lunch. Today, we are going to talk about the experience for connecting with devices. And as we saw from some of the demos yesterday, Windows 8 is very much a PC operating system, and we know that people who have PCs want to connect lots and lots of devices to them. So before we jump into that, I'd like to introduce myself a little bit. I'm Robin Goldstein, and I work on the Windows 8 UI. My team members and I, along with my test manager and partner in crime, Craig Joe, are responsible for all of the user experiences in Windows for connecting with devices, as well as network connectivity experiences, and a few other little things, some which we'll show you today, that are new for Windows 8. And one thing I wanted to say about Craig here, while I have only worked on a mere 2 releases of Windows, and I've been doing device experience all that time, I'm super excited. Craig here has shipped every version of Windows since 1995, and he's assured me that everything we're showing today is ready to go on the box. So if we have any problems, it's...
For all those years I've worked for Microsoft, whenever I show up in a meeting and people don't like me because I always tell them the bad news. Something doesn't work.
Okay, well, you're going to tell us the good news.
They don't even clap
You're going to tell us the good news today.
Yeah, and today I'm going to make a difference.
All right, so the good news today is we're mostly going to show you demos. A few of the demos were in Mike's keynote, and a few things that we have never attempted in public before. So you're our test audience. So here's what we're going to do. It's mostly an experience overview for connected devices in Windows. And we're going to focus on 3 areas: connectivity and setup, the experiences that our users will have when they connect devices with their applications, and also talk a little bit about the opportunity for those of you who make devices for differentiating your experience in Windows 8. Hopefully, you'll leave with some examples of how to have a great experience with your device in Windows 8, and we'd like you to attend more sessions. This is really kind of the tour to all of the device-centric sessions. We have about 12 of them in the hardware track, and there's a few in the systems and application developer tracks that may be of interest, and we'll try to point out some of those along the way. But really what we're going to do is show you some of the things that we're doing, give you the overview, and then point you in the direction of the technical sessions that will be of interest to you depending on what kind of device that you're involved in. So as the title suggests, we've sort of followed this mantra that we've been hearing over the last day and a half about Windows being fully reimagined, that the PC experience being reimagined from top to bottom, anywhere from the chipset to the PC shape and size, and also the user experience. And with that, it means the device experience needed to change as well. So we really took another look at how we could evolve the experience to work with all these new shapes and sizes of PCs and be relevant for the types of scenarios that users are doing with Windows today. So I think there's no denying that PCs come in different sizes and shapes. You saw a whole row of them yesterday when Mike demonstrated. People are still using them. There's slates now, there's PCs with the computing power of 10,000 crays. But people are still going to use these in their daily lives every day. And the other thing is, people are still going to connect devices. Our telemetry tells us that with Windows 7 alone, we're seeing over 16,000 unique device models connected every month. So that's just with what our telemetry can pick up. We've also learned from some of the projections out there that up to 1 billion USB devices are going to be sold over the next 4 or 5 years. So and that's not counting phones, by the way. So we know that connecting with devices and connecting devices to each other is something that people are going to continue to do. Another thing that we've seen as a trend over the last few years, these devices are becoming smarter. They're becoming increasingly wireless. We know they're multifunction. We have some beautiful examples of multifunction devices that used to be single-function peripherals here with me up on the stage. But we also know that these devices are starting to connect to apps and services in new ways. So they connect to PCs, but they also often have services that make the experience richer and more functional. They often have applications or software that come along with them. And if you make a device, then you are more than likely to be making a piece of software that goes along to accompany the experience or even enhance the experience for using that device on Windows. And many of you in the room were involved with us in Windows 7, where we started this partnership in making something called the device stage. And that was an experience where when a device was connected, a user could actually get very relevant information about a device, including how to make a connection with the company or the manufacturer of that device. Often, there was software and tools and support or links to other services that are available for that device. But one of the things we learned through that experience working with a number of different device makers, in fact, there's thousands of unique models that were supported in the device stage for Windows 7, that while that experience was an improvement for users, while the first-time setup and the easy connectivity experience for users was an improvement, we still wanted to have more flexibility to differentiate. And so that's another thing that we took to heart when we're reimagining the experience for connecting with devices in Windows 8. So our vision is that we still want to take advantage of this notion we've had for years where devices just work with Windows. It's something we've been working on and we've been striving to improve on, for quite a number of releases. But we want to come along with the times. There's cutting-edge technologies, and we want Windows 8 to be ready for those. There's new ways of connecting. There's new ways of creating software and services. So what we've done is we've really invested in 3 key areas, as I alluded to before: making device connectivity and setup effortless, including taking advantage of some of the new connectivity transports. If you were in Dennis Flanagan's talk this morning, you heard him talk about USB 3, and you saw some of that demonstrated yesterday, Wi-Fi Direct and near-field communications. And these are a couple of the things that we're investing in as new ways to connect, in addition to reducing the friction that our customers still occasionally experience when connecting these more sophisticated devices to Windows. The second area that we've invested in is the built-in device experiences and making those available to the broadest range of app developers. This is important. If you saw yesterday's talks, you know that Metro-style apps are the direction that we're going, and we're trying to get everybody to get involved in developing Metro-style applications that are very rich, that know how to do some very sophisticated operations in Windows, that have access to contracts, that allow them to complete scenarios in Windows. And we wanted devices to be able to participate in that. So we've invested in device experience that are available for Metro-style app developers where they don't have to know anything about the devices themselves. We'll talk a little bit more about that. And finally, we wanted those of you who make devices or are in the hardware business who are interested in having software experiences in Windows to accompany your devices to also differentiate with Metro-style apps. And so we're introducing here at the Build Conference the concept of the Metro-style device apps. And we're going to show you some examples, some of which you saw yesterday in Mike's keynote. But we're going to explain a little bit more about what is a Metro-style device app. I also encourage you to attend a session later on today that Eugene Lin is going to be giving that sort of goes into the history of the device experience and how we use device stage in the Metro-style app experience as well. So now we're going to talk to you. Here's the fun part, because we're actually going to show you a few of the things that we're done. So I'm going to start out by asking Craig to help me with a setup demo. The concept here is that we make device connectivity and setup effortless. And Craig, I'm going to ask you to explain to me how you're going to get some of these devices set up with Windows 8.
All right, so Robin, what I heard a few interesting words, one of which is effortless, easy, right, straightforward. And what I'm going to start is to let you know what I have around here. There are a lot of things here. I have a very simple networking environment here, and I have a Western Digital Play 2 receiver connected to this wireless router. I have internet connected to the router. I have this laptop I use at work, and I just put Windows 8 on it. It's exactly the same build all of you folks have just received as well. And what I'm going to do is first to join this network. All right, so I have this Ethernet. I can join Ethernet. I can join wireless. Let's just join through the Ethernet. So open up the Metro Style Connection Manager, and I'm going to make a connection. It's connected. That was quick and easy, and I'm on the internet already. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with this small Canon camera I've been having. I took a lot of pictures, and I need to download those pictures and put this on my PC. So I'm going to turn the power on and plug it in. See how quick that was.
That was almost instantaneous, Craig.
That was, yes, that was great. So it was very quick, and now you get a notification. Click on the notification. Here you have the choices, the app choices you can do with this device, and certainly you can have a Metro style applications here. What I have right now is the live photo gallery. So I'm going to just choose the live photo gallery to start the import the pictures. I'm not going to actually do it because, trust me, I have a lot of family pictures. I know my kids are all looking great, but to save some time, and I will just close this. You know, as a tester myself, what I always like to do is, hey, try that, do that one more time, right, Robin?
Hey, Craig, can you do that one more time?
Yeah. Okay, I'll do that. Yeah. So I'll do it one more time. Look what happened. It goes right to where I was. Okay, it's straightforward, and there's no more autoplay pop-up in there. And until we have more options, such as there is another Metro style application become available.
Yeah, one of the important things he's showing here. First of all, there's some improvements that we've made under the covers to make sure that even the simple operation like plugging in a device with a USB cable is a lot faster than it used to be. And this isn't even a USB 3 device. We've been talking about, this is just a Windows 7 compatible USB 2 device. The other thing that's interesting, if we did, even with a storage drive, you might remember in Windows 7, we're going to ask you every time, what do you want to do with it, what do you want to do with it? Windows 8 is smart enough to just remember your choice, and we preserve user choice. It's super important there. But also, the point about app developers being participating. This is another place where apps could come in and say, hey, I'm a choice. I can participate. And if you make the device, you could even have your application be the recommended choice. And that's something that you'll learn more about in Eugene's session later on today. So, Craig, you were installing that Western Digital.
Yeah, I actually didn't do anything. I just joined the network.
So what happened to it?
Well, let's take a look, see if it's ready to go. I'm going to start the Metro control panel. From here, let's go to the device page. There, I didn't do a thing, and the Western Digital Play to receiver was automatically detected. So that's what I mean by effortless.
And the other thing that's really interesting about this, he got that device to show up just by joining the network. But also, you might have noticed there was nothing to see. No pop-ups, no dialogues, no spinning donuts, no little notifications that told you the device was in, no little annoying sounds that tell you the device is there. Our philosophy, our point of view is if it's on your network, it should just work. So, Craig, what about these printers here? How are you going to...
we have Epson, HP, and Canon. So what I'm going to do is I actually have this Epson printer for a while and has been working great for me on Windows 7 machines. So I have this USB cable, and I'm going to connect to this laptop and plugging in right away.
And there's the printer.
Here you have your printer using our class driver.
Using our class driver.
Ready to be used.
Ready to be used.
Isn't that great?
With an icon that looks just like the printer. So it's great. This was a great example of a printer just works out of the box. It was one of the best printers we had for Windows 7 and didn't have to do anything. It just works with Windows 8.
Yep. Simple, easy, no confusion.
Great. Well, thanks, Craig. Now, let me have my presentation back.
All right. So, you have your presentation back now.
So we showed you this simple example of how common devices are really easy to install. But there's a couple of things we didn't show you. If you were in Dennis's session, you heard a lot about this. But I want to mention this because we have quite a few sessions going on that are targeted at making that installation experience even better, especially without wires. Now, we've talked about USB 3. There's been a lot of interest in USB 3. Great performance improvements going on, power improvements possible for your devices. And so if you're interested in continuing to have your device connect over USB and you want even better performance than what we just showed there, I definitely encourage you to go to Jane Lawrence's session on building great USB 3 devices with Windows 8. That's going to be happening later on. Wi-Fi Direct. Now, Wi-Fi Direct is interesting. This is built on our existing Wi-Fi stack. No special firmware changes needed in the PCs for this to happen. It's just built on the existing Wi-Fi stack. And the neat thing about Wi-Fi Direct is it allows devices to connect to each other without passwords, without any pairing or special authentication. And it's high bandwidth. So you can use it to do things like share large content, large pieces of content in an ad hoc way between devices. That's going to be supported in Windows 8. There's a great session by Yatharth Gupta, who's doing the session also later on. If you're interested in having your device participate in Windows as a Wi-Fi Direct device, I definitely encourage you to attend that session. And I just want to mention that Wi-Fi Direct devices are going to be able to take advantage of most of the same device experiences that other IP-connected devices or DLNA type of devices will be able to participate in, such as Play 2. I also wanted to mention Bluetooth Low Energy. I know a lot of the devices here we showed you were devices that connect over USB or have a wireless network connection, but a lot of the devices that we connect to the PC today are devices that are peripherals that can connect via Bluetooth, small devices that want to just have a quick wireless connection. In Windows 8, we're introducing support for Bluetooth Low Energy, which is going to be a great new way to connect devices, especially new device types like that sport watch you wear. And it's low power. Imagine your keyboard lasting for 2 years on one battery. Imagine being able to upload your data from your sport watch after your run from anywhere in the house. So Alex Sung has put together a session to talk about Bluetooth LE. If that's something you're interested in, I definitely encourage you to attend his session on designing great devices with Bluetooth LE. And finally, you heard a little bit about this yesterday, near-field communications. This is a low bandwidth short-range networking capability. And it's really intended for person-to-person scenarios. And the reason I'm bringing it up in this session, it's something that we've built in the capability to Windows 8 for. You can use it to share content between apps on the PC if multiple PC devices, such as these devices that we've given to you as of yesterday, you can use that to share content between two people. And we'll show you a demonstration of that in a few moments here. But it's also interesting for having a PC interact with any other type of device that supports NFC. Imagine just swiping your mouse or setting your mouse down next to your PC and having it automatically pair and ready to use within seconds. No pins to enter, no complicated UI to go through. Imagine taking a business card and just swiping it against the PC and having somebody's contact information just entered into your address book. So there's a number of different scenarios that become possible with our support for near-field communications in Windows 8. And that's built into the operating system. It's something we're going to be making available to app developers as well. So you should see a variety of applications that start to emerge to take advantage of this capability when the PCs are similarly equipped. Now, I also want to talk about the setup and the everyday use experience. So auto-discover of devices, that was the function that Craig just demonstrated with the Western Digital Play 2 receiver, where all he had to do was join his home network, and all of the devices that were already joined to the network were automatically installed in Windows and paired with no user interaction required. Windows 8 is also ready for printers. So we saw one neat example with the Epson class driver when this is a Windows 7 printer that just works automatically. But there's a new generation print driver model, which we refer to as V4 print driver model. And the cool thing about this is it's going to work everywhere. It's going to work across architectures. It requires less code to make a good driver because it starts with a class driver, and then you extend the driver to work with your device. It also provides UI extensibility that hasn't been possible in Windows before. And we're going to show you some examples of that a little bit later as well. There's going to be a great session going on, I think, tomorrow by Justin Hutchings and the print team, who's going to talk about the V4 print driver model. So if you make a print device, you definitely want to attend Justin's session. Now, app installation is another thing that we're introducing for Windows 8. You'll hear a lot about this in Eugene's session later on today. One of the things that you can do with your device is create a Metro-style device app. And to sort of help with that friction-free setup experience, what we've enabled is the ability for Windows to automatically download and install that application when the device is connected. The user doesn't have to go find it. The user doesn't have to open device stage and download it. It's just going to come down when you connect with your device. And that's part of our setup. That's part of our setup functionality that we've added for Windows 8. And we'll talk more about how that gets enabled. There's a session on creating and publishing Metro-style device apps by Max Morris, and he's going to tell you more about how you get involved in that experience. We're going to show you some good examples of that later on as well. And then finally, I wanted to mention a new technology for Windows 8. And this should be interesting, especially if you're involved in making portable storage, we've introduced a new scenario called Windows to Go. And this is the ability to connect a small storage drive like the ones that you all got as part of the conference handout that actually enables you to boot a full copy of Windows from a storage drive. And you just plug it in and it's ready to go. Really great new scenario for Windows 8. And Steve Silverberg is giving a session on Windows to Go. So the second big concept I want to talk to you about is the experience connecting devices with apps. So I mentioned that Windows 8 includes built-in device experiences. And think about how the apps were using the share contract yesterday in Jensen Harris's demo. So one app could share content with another app, completing a content sharing scenario without either app having to know anything about each other. So what we've been looking at for the Windows 8 experience is a way that one app could interact with the device without the app or the device needing to know anything about each other. The app uses a contract to interact with a device depending on what type of scenario they're trying to complete. But together they could complete scenarios that neither one could complete alone. So Craig is going to show us what we've done.
So the next few demos are all related to how applications can interact with the device and how easily developer can put together an application that have a very cohesive scenario between app and the devices. So let me first ask you, and since you all have this prototype, this preview machines now, how many of you have tried out this application called Aircraft? 1, 2, 3, 5, less than 10, probably about 10 people. All right, great. So I'm going to start from Aircraft, and I'll show you how Aircraft is using the built-in printing experience. So let's start Aircraft here. Remember that Epson printer that I plugged it in earlier, right? So that's the printer we're going to use. So this is Airplane. Well, you can play around a little bit with this 3D picture. And an important thing I want to show you is that And I really want to make an airplane, and I want to print out the instructions. All right? So notice that on the screen right now, the instructions are layout is very good for this screen. It's laid out horizontally. And I swipe from the right and choose device charm. Here I have the Epson printer. And I select the Epson printer. I want you to see the layout in the print preview, and which is very good for a paper type of a media. And this is all done through just a few lines of code. Yeah, and it's done by an intern.
Well,
developer.
yeah, actually, the intern who did the aircraft app, they did a little work to think about their print layout, but to actually access that Epson device, they didn't have to do a thing other than write 1 or 2 lines to enable support for the print contract. And this printer didn't know anything about the print contract. What this printer had to do was just work with Windows. So here we have a great example of an application working with a printer, and neither one of them had to know anything about the other. Another thing to point out in this UI, this print preview, that's part of the Windows experience. That's not something that the application had to be responsible for. So Craig, yes, and here's some settings that we have as well. But I think it would be cool to show what we can do with that TV device.
Actually, you know what? I almost forgot about that TV device. All right, so let's just go. This time we start another application. Okay, it's called a video. Let's see if we have any videos available here. My favorite is nature. What do you think, Rob? I think nature is always nice. Every time I play it, and you seem to like it. So I'm going to choose this video. Just touch this thing.
Oh,
on the video.
There we go.
Well, they all look nice when they're young. All right? Wait until they're much older.
So what's going on here, Craig?
Do you see a picture on the TV? Yeah? Do you see a TV? A video?
Okay.
Playing there? Yes. Robin, you want to talk
so
about
what
what's
just
happening
happened here? I know it didn't take very long, but Craig was playing a video from his Metro-style video app. That app didn't have to know anything about this Western Digital device we had on the network. It didn't have to do anything about installing it or managing it. It simply had to enable support for a contract we call the Play-To contract. And this is something that can be enabled in any app. We've built it into the operating system. It's supported in the browser, and it'll be enabled for content, video content playing in the browser. But any Metro-style device app could actually take advantage of this contract with just a couple of lines of code. And this is another example of a device that is operated by an app where the two complete a scenario, and they didn't even have to know anything about each other. They did a complete scenario.
Yep.
Now, I just realized, Craig, we didn't actually complete the print scenario.
You want to do the print, actually?
Yeah, and the reason I want to do that is because we have James is here from Epson, and I wanted to thank him for his help rescuing this printer. We had a little paper jam earlier, so I just want to prove that printing with this printer actually works in Windows 8.
He said it would work.
You promised me it would work.
All right.
So I want to thank the guys at Epson for helping us get this scenario to actually be complete here in the room with Windows 8. Oh, here it comes.
Is the paper coming out?
There, it's coming out.
I couldn't make that happen yesterday.
All right, and there we have the aircraft instructions.
Yep.
Just as we had it in the print preview from a Metro-style app.
Yes.
Okay, great.
All right, webcams. We got to do webcams.
Oh, totally.
Right, webcams is everywhere.
Yeah, I know how much you like to look at yourself, Craig.
I've been looking at myself quite a bit lately to prepare all those demos.
Okay.
The webcam is everywhere. You know, if you don't think you have one, you got to look very carefully. It's somewhere around there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up this app written by a summer intern. What he wanted to do is to write this Metro-style application that can take a picture of something and then measure the size of it. Right? So simple app, but it's
Okay, but just
very
don't
creative
point it
idea.
at me.
I'm not going to do that. This time, I'm going to point to me first. But it will be your turn next time.
I don't want to get measured.
All right.
So
what? All right, I'll measure myself. So here, take a photo. Right now, he is using the built-in camera capture UI experience. And he just made a few lines of calls, and he has this UI completely integrated with his application. Well, this UI has settings, the normal settings. You can change resolution. You can do things. And what I want to do here is just simply take a picture. So I'm going to just look at myself, take a picture.
Smile.
Smile.
You can do it.
Yeah, there's a timer.
Charming, Craig.
I think
charming.
that looks good.
Charming.
That looks good. Yes. All right, move around a little bit. This, by the way, this is all standard built-in experience. Okay, you didn't have to do much thing here. Okay, select it. All right, so next thing I want to do, well...
You don't want to measure that.
I don't want to...
You don't want to measure that.
You think it's too big, too small, too...
I would leave it. You're perfect.
Yeah, I think the app will be wrong no matter what.
So what's going on there? You actually saw quite a few demos that used the camera capture UI yesterday. But one thing I wanted to point out, in the Metro style application that Craig just showed, this is the same camera capture UI that Julie used to create her user tile. It's just an inbox. There's actually an API in the Windows runtime that enables any Metro style app developer to use the webcam functionality, and it includes the ability to change the settings on the webcam. It includes the ability to trim that photo. It includes the ability to capture high-quality video and audio if you have a good camera. It includes the ability to trim that video and use that audio, video, or photo content in your app. And again, the app developer doesn't need to know a thing about media capture or webcams. A few lines of code, an app plus a device working together to complete a scenario.
That's really good.
It's really cool. So Craig, actually, there's just one more thing. I'm going to do the Stephen on you a little bit.
Anything else?
There's one more thing that I want to show them. I mentioned near-field communications. Now, you guys saw an example of this yesterday, but I want to show you an example of using it in an app. So what you saw yesterday was a great example of how near-field communications can be used to interact with the device. I want to show you these two devices interacting. So what I've got going on my side.
Which one is which? Well, actually, our user
you can see our faces there. You've got another charming
the
picture.
Most sophisticated guy.
Sophisticated guy.
And Robin looks fantastic. All right, so Robin, you're going to do something.
So actually, we were talking about going to Disneyland. And Craig, I'm going to get you on Space Mountain. It only goes about 60 miles an hour.
60 miles?
Yeah, so you don't have to, you're going to be okay.
Wow.
So do you want to check out Space Mountain?
Does it come with a coupon or something? Then 60 miles is okay.
Okay, so what I want to do here, I really want to share this website with Craig. So I simply pull up the devices charm, and I have this option to share through the sharing contract with someone nearby. Okay. And so what I'm going to do is now ready to share. There you go.
All right, I got it. You're invited.
And there you go. Space Mountain.
Here we are.
You ready
for
that?
Space Mountain. 60 miles, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
but
pretty cool.
Next time, maybe next time.
All right. So let me talk a little bit about what's going on there. What just happened? Why is this interesting? This was a personal experience. I wanted to share something that I was interested in with something that Craig was interested in. And I didn't want to pull up my email and paste it in and send it to the server, and he had to pull up his email. He's standing right there.
She's just right there.
So I just gave it to him. And this is the type of scenario that's available. This particular one that I showed you is wired up to the Metro-style Internet Explorer app. It's a Metro-style app. Any other Metro-style app can implement a scenario like that, where content from one app can be sent to another app simply by implementing a few lines of code, one app talking to another app to complete a scenario that neither one could complete alone. In this case, it also requires two devices to complete the scenario. So we've got two apps, or actually it's really one app and two devices in this case. If you build a device that doesn't look like a PC, there's still ways for you to participate in this. because we're using near-field communications, which is kind of a standards-based approach to doing this, you can implement tags in an antenna in your device that interact with Windows and send content from your device to a Windows 8 device. And that's all part of our built-in experiences. So, moving on. So what did we just see? I think I'm like a broken record, that Windows runtimes connects apps and devices. We showed you print, play to, and capture, which actually have user experiences built in to interact with, pre-baked. You don't have to make your own. App developers can just use these. We showed you how apps can share with someone nearby. And the gesture we used with the two Samsung devices together, we're actually referring to that as the tap and go. If you hear somebody talk about a tap and go scenario, that's what we just showed you. And that's the share contract. There's another way to use the share contract. If you make an app that knows how to talk to your device, you can actually implement the target side of the share contract and say, hey, I'm an app that can receive content, and I can send it to my device. And that allows any app to send content to you just via the regular share charm. We saw a lot of examples of how to use a share charm yesterday. Another way that devices show up in the built-in experience and are available to any app is through the picker contract. So if you want to store, if you have a storage device, portable, USB, wireless, where your files can be opened or saved, you can have your device show up in the picker simply by supporting Windows-compatible portable device technology. And we just have you show up. It's the same thing you always did for Windows 7. Our experience knows how to pick content from your device through the runtime. And finally, if you have a mobile broadband device, apps can send and receive text messages to you. In fact, this will even work with a portable device that supports portable device services and support for SMS text messaging. All of these things can be accessed from any Metro-style device app. And there's ways to even have your custom device functionality included in this. And there's a session by George Roussos and Nar Ganapathy that's going to happen tomorrow afternoon where they talk about, if you're not one of these kinds of devices, how you can participate in the experience too. So I definitely encourage those of you who are creating specialized or innovative devices to attend the session on connecting specialized devices to Metro-style device apps. So finally, the last concept that we want to walk you through and give you some examples of is the experience for differentiating your device through software in Windows 8. And this is an opportunity, if you make a device, to create a Metro-style application that's unique to your device that gets delivered with your device whenever it's connected. And in this way, we're hoping to really provide flexibility for you to create the experience you want. So we talked a lot about Windows giving over the experience entirely to the app developer. In this case, if you're the device maker and you write a Metro-style device app, you own the experience. You own the corner to corner. You own every pixel. And so here's where Craig is going to join me for one last time, and we're going to give you some examples of some Metro-style device apps that are already being worked on for some great devices.
Thank you, Robbie. I think the next few demos will really illustrate Robin's points, how the Metro-style device applications can extend on top of the built-in experience and also create the features that are very unique, specific to your own devices. So the first thing I want to show you is actually this AT&T Metro-style device application. Start from the Metro-style connection manager. You see AT&T icon right there.
Oh.
Is it showing there?
It went away.
Went away.
We don't have the connection manager on the screen.
Let me just do. All right. You know what?
Try again.
I'm not a professional.
Don't try this at home.
Don't. Yeah.
And by that I mean
It's
connecting
actually
to
quite
3 different
complicated
AV
here.
switchers and demonstrate in front of 1,000 people. Definitely
you
do
go.
not try that at home.
Okay, now I connected to the right computer. Okay, it was connected to my other computers. So AT&T icon is right there, it's connection manager, and just click on AT&T icon. If you have a mobile broadband at home, what do you care the most? You care about your account data, right? You want to make sure your wife, your husband is not spending too much. So what you want to do is you click on there. See, the AT&T's Metro-style device application gets brought up right there.
Okay.
Right there, you get all the information you want, and you can access the data.
So let me talk about what's going on here. So this is interesting, and you're going to hear a lot about this in the talks that happened today with Eugene. Samer Sawaya and Dhiraj Gandhi are also going to give a talk if you're a mobile operator and you want to do one of these Metro-style device apps that hooks up to a mobile broadband device. You should definitely go to their session as well. But let me talk about what's going on here. This is a Metro-style device app, and it is actually associated with the mobile broadband device that's in that PC. And we actually use the device stage system to make the association between that application and the connection manager and the piece of hardware that's in there. So in this way, we can leverage existing systems which have been running at scale for the last 4 years, actually even longer, because those systems have been serving other experiences besides device experiences. And what we've done here is we've extended the inbox experience, in this case, the connection manager, and then AT&T has also created their own experience that a user can access from the start screen.
Yeah, actually you can,
and
that's exactly true.
AT&T is not the only one who can do it.
Here,
so,
we can start from the start manual right here.
Yeah, so show them what some of our other partners have done.
Well, we have Vodafone right here.
Yeah, so if this, we had Vodafone hardware, we have a Vodafone account experience here as well. And one of the nice things...
It looks very different.
It does. It definitely looks like a Vodafone application.
Yes.
But go back to the start screen on this one. There's a nice thing that Vodafone... Yeah, there we go. See, Vodafone has even done some work on a live tile. See the nice race car they've implemented there. So even if you're a device maker, your application can take advantage of all of the affordances in the Metro-style UI design for the system. So there's no restrictions here on what kind of app you can design to go with your device. You can use any of the templates that were talked about yesterday, and the flexibility to use any of the tools available for UI, including all of the controls. So if you're making your own Metro app, you definitely want to pay attention to a lot of the content that we're presenting to the app developers as well. So that was mobile broadband.
Yep. So let's look at the other type of device applications. And Robin, you mentioned the V4 printer drivers, right?
That's right.
HP has adopted V4 drivers.
That's right.
Right. As a result, they are able to develop a Metro-style device app that can extend the built-in printing experiences. How about we just show a few things
let's
there?
check that out.
Well, we'll use the aircraft app again. All right. And the view instructions, device charm, and simply choose this printer.
Okay, well, that looks the same as the other one.
Yes, absolutely. But wait until I press more options. Yeah.
Well, look at that.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah. That is coming from HP, and it's specific to their own printers.
Right. And this is a Metro-style device app. What's interesting about this app is it runs in context of the print experience. So remember I told you that any application can access any printer, even if they don't know anything about each other? Well, this extension that was built as a Metro-style device app for this HP printer right here, it can be accessed in any application that accesses the print experience.
I think that's a very important point.
Yeah, so anywhere you see print, you see HP's experience for print in Windows 8. And so that's part of the power of the Metro-style device app in extending the existing device experience.
And it's so well integrated.
Yeah. Now, these applications are possible in context because of V4. So it's important to notice that if you want the extended experience, you do have to make your printer compatible with V4. So if you're interested in that, definitely attend Justin's session. Now, there's another, I want you to show the
Canon.
The Canon experience here.
Yep. Let's take a look at Canon.
Yeah, Canon's working on an experience too. This is a great example of how you can launch from the Start menu.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
look at that background. I noticed the background.
Yeah, and that's going to work with this Pixma printer right here, which is also supporting V4. And if you, why don't you pop into Canon Online there?
Canon Online.
Yes.
Do they have anything else?
And just take a look at, these are the kinds of things that you can do with the Metro Style device app.
I actually forgot something.
Yeah,
HP, I can run HP app from Start menu as well.
You sure can, but let's finish with Canon before you do that.
Yeah. Okay.
And
I wanted to remember that.
I wanted to show you that you can use this application to do some of these creative functionality as well as extend the inline print experience. So now why don't you go ahead and show us what our friends at HP have done.
Okay. Well, they're all our friends. Right?
Yes, they're all our friends.
I started from Start menu. You know what? One of the things I like is the supplies page. Right?
I like the supplies page.
I like that. It says ink cartridges are low. Well, you know, click on it, and now we need more yellow. Or let me try this. Here, 2.
Yeah.
And try a few things there.
So pretty nice. I think we showed this at Mike's demo yesterday as well. But one of the things I wanted to point out with these two demos, both of them very different. They do a great job representing the brand and on sort of the personality of the company that provided the device. They have full access to the range, just like in the mobile broadband case. They have full access to the range of UI controls and system affordances for any Metro Style device app. And again, with either HP or Canon, when they extend, or any other device maker that extends the print experience with a Metro Style device app, it shows up anywhere that an app accesses printing. And as you saw in both cases, you can also have a great just standalone services or creativity experience from the Start screen.
Yeah. Okay,
so I think we have, do we have
webcam,
one more?
yes.
Webcam, your
We
favorite,
have to
it's
talk
back.
about webcam, right? Because I remembered you forced me to take a picture of myself.
I forced you.
Right? And I'm going to ask you to take a picture with this device, Metro Style device app.
Okay.
Written by Microsoft Hardware.
Okay. Will you tell me what to do?
How about this? All right. I'm going to the Start menu. Look at this. Personalize. And choose user tile. I'm already on user tile, so let's go to the webcam.
Okay.
The interesting thing here is this camera actually, this device actually has a back camera. Has a, well, that's the camera you're pointing to the floor. No, you take a picture of yourself.
I don't want to take a picture of
And there should
myself.
be another one here.
That's the front camera.
So 3 of them. Wow, that's quite impressive. Actually, the built-in camera capture UI supports multiple webcams there. Let's switch to the one we really want to have some fun with.
They say 3 is a charm, correct?
3? Really? You're supposed to take a picture of yourself.
I don't want to take a picture of myself.
Really? Why not?
Okay.
It's
well, what's
okay.
going on? So this is a LifeCam Studio device. This is off the shelf. We just got it from Best Buy.
Okay.
But this is another example of how a device maker can use Metro Style device app to extend the experience.
Here's the extended experience. Any suggestions?
How about pink hair, Craig?
Pink hair? Pink. Well, I'm not
Come
sure
on.
about pink.
I like pink on you. You can do it.
Okay, I'll do pink. You probably have to aim at me, so.
Yeah, well, the performance is going to be.
nose.
Why don't you try the bunny ears instead?
Bunny ears. Is this the bunny ear?
There we go.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Okay.
Why don't you try something
that
else?
looks great.
Actually, we try that one on me.
Something cool.
You want to try that one on me?
Why not?
How does that look? Okay.
Let's
See, just to prove that we did not fake this, it works on him and it works on me.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
That's a good point. That's
anyway,
fair. That's
okay.
fair. Okay.
That's good.
Oh,
And
okay.
so what's going on? You got to do it again one more time.
I have to do this one more time. I just
right.
selected black and white, I think.
Okay, so you can see what's going on. I want you to, can you
let's
switch
do
to the
this.
other camera just for a second?
Switch
to the other
okay,
camera.
Which one? Whatever you want. Okay.
Switch to the other camera.
That's,
Let's just switch to the other camera. You can do it.
well, hang on a second.
Oh, or maybe we can't. Right here. All right.
Okay,
so
you're right. You're always
I think you
right.
have to touch out of that one too. Like this? Maybe not.
Maybe not. Maybe not. Well,
Maybe not. Well, what
anyway,
I was trying to show you is
we
that
played
those
too
other
hard.
two cameras, their settings are, things we built, sliders, buttons. What's going on here is the LifeCam Studio team. They built a Metro-style device. This is sound familiar. They built a Metro-style device app, and through a contract for webcam capture UI, which is built in, they can extend their experience there and have a customized preferences experience, where if, like this camera has a lot of H.264 capability, it can process a lot of video. They can do cool effects inline. And again, wherever that webcam experience shows up in Windows, including any Metro-style app, that customized experience shows up in Windows along with the webcam. So, if I could have my... So we showed how for printers, webcam, and even a mobile broadband SIM, Metro-style device apps can be used to extend the existing experience, or you can build your own. And in fact, in the cases we saw, most of them have done both. If you do not build a printer, if you do not build a webcam, if you're not a mobile operator, you can still build a Metro-style device app. If you have a portable device, if you have a storage device that works over USB, if you have a network media device like the Western Digital that we showed earlier today with the Play 2 functionality, or any other device that you can dream up that connects to Windows 8 in a compatible way, there is a way for you to create a Metro-style device app. And this allows you to access the unique device capabilities of your device by projecting them into the Windows runtime. So definitely, if you're any of those, I want to encourage you again to go to the session on specialized device experiences for Metro-style apps. That's by George Roussos and Nar Ganapathy. We also have sessions for all of the top section. The print experience is going to be talked about by Marc Potier tomorrow in the afternoon. He's going to talk to you about how to go about hooking up an experience for a print device with a V4 print driver and using that in Windows. Also tomorrow afternoon, Khurram Zia is going to be doing the session on how to enable that webcam experience that we just saw for your webcam device. So if you're involved in, if you create a device like this, or even if you're doing the built-in webcam device for an OEM's Windows 8 PC, you can also take advantage of that. So go to KZ's session on that. And then finally, Samer Sawaya and Diraj Gandhi are going to do the session on how mobile operators can participate with their Metro-style device app. And so I wanted to mention one more again. I mentioned it earlier. Everybody, for all of the above, we have Eugene's session, which goes into more detail about the functionality of Metro-style device apps and how the setup experience is going to work for those. And then Max Morris is going to follow that up with a session on how you use the tools to publish and distribute these. So take a look out for those sessions. So finally, Windows 8 is connected and ready to use with devices. And I hope that we showed you today some of the ways in which we've accomplished that with device connectivity and setup, more friction-free than ever, and in some cases just completely effortless, as easy as connecting to your network, as easy as swiping a device to your near-field communications or setting it down next to your PC. By the way, if you make a device peripheral and you want to learn more about how to use near-field communications, do attend the session by Dave Roth and Jeffrey Chang, who are going to include the NFC scenario for peripherals as part of that discussion. We spent a lot of time talking about how Metro-style app developers can include device experiences in their app by using contracts to complete a scenario between their application and a device. And then we also showed you how device makers can participate in the experience by extending those built-in experiences for apps and creating their own. So as you leave here, there's a few things I want you to keep in mind. First of all, attend as many sessions as you can if you're interested in doing this kind of work. And we talked about some of the new connectivity technology that's going to be available. We encourage you to participate by providing support for some of this new technology in your devices. It's not required, but we do think in the world where the devices are lightweight, more mobile, trending towards wireless, that enabling some of these wireless experiences is going to be increasingly more and more important. You already designed great devices, so we want you to keep doing that. And we want them to be compatible with the Windows 8 device experiences that are built in, especially for if you make a printer. We want you to take a look at the V4 class driver. If you do mobile broadband, we want to make sure that you're taking advantage of the mobile broadband class driver and some of the other mobile broadband capabilities. And if you do a webcam, to also support the built-in webcam driver for Windows 8. And then if you're doing drivers for your own customized device, then we want to just make sure you're using good practices to have that be a great experience for your device. And then take advantage of plumbing your unique capabilities into the Windows runtime, which you'll learn how to do in George's session. And then finally, if you want to differentiate the experience, if you want to have a great app that goes with your device, if you want to have it delivered automatically when your device is connected, then you should build a Metro-style device app. And you'll have the best experience possible with your device in Windows 8. So I'm not going to go through all of these one by one. I've mentioned a lot of them today. These are all the related sessions that we've queued up to go into detail. A lot of these are going to illustrate the code that you need to make some of the experiences possible. Some of them are going to go through the tools and the processes. But definitely, these will be available to you online. Take a look at the hardware-related content on, if you type in device or devices into the search string on the Build Conference app, you'll find all of these, either device or devices. I think you have to, some will come up under device, some will come up under devices. And I also wanted to mention in the developer content for app developers, Mark Potier from my team is going to do a session tomorrow on integrating with the Windows device experience, where he's going to actually go through and talk about how, if you're making an app, to access all of these device experiences through the device charm contract. So all of the stuff that Craig and I demoed in the second section, he's going to be talking to app developers about how they can integrate that. And if you're an app developer in the room, I definitely encourage you to go attend that session as well. There's going to be a session in the platform section also on how app developers can get creative with print formatting. So John Kay and Darren Davis are delivering a session on the print API that may be interesting to you if you're building an app that does formatting for printer and you want to have more control over that print preview that we just showed you. So that concludes our session today. Craig, you did a great job wrangling all this equipment, and I want to thank you so much for your help. And I want to encourage the room to participate in sessions and read some of our documentation. And there's also going to be a forum for feedback and questions, and so please do send us your questions and provide your feedback. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the conference. It's been my pleasure talking to you today, and I thank you for attending.
Thank you so much.